Hosea 2:15 says, I will transform the valley of trouble into a gateway of hope. Hope is a transformation. It doesn't necessarily change where we are. It changes the state that we are in. That's who we are and what we want to do for all the women that we serve.
Having a space for women specifically and with a Christian background is difficult to find, and I think that it helps them feel comfortable, that they have a place that they can come to where they know there's just going to be women. As much as we love the men in our life, it's helpful to talk about our emotions with women that understand what we're going through.
I love my girlfriends and their support system, but sometimes their advice is not helpful. And so at Gateway of Hope, we have counselors who can look at situations from a neutral perspective. And for women who want to use their Christian faith, they can involve their faith in their healing.
Part of the reason that I came to Gateway of Hope is because my faith is important to me, but I didn't feel like I was pressured to conform to a certain doctrine or religion. So it was nice to me that there was a spiritual piece that my therapist encouraged.
Here at Gateway of Hope, women come in, they can have a cup of coffee, they can make themselves some tea, they can go to the library while they're waiting and pick up a book that will also help them. So it's much more homey, much more personal.
We want to acknowledge and address the needs of the whole woman. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and looking at the whole woman. And I feel like all of those together are unique. I don't know of any other place that has counseling, groups, coaching for women only.
Gateway of Hope is unique in that we only serve women, and we are so affordable, and we are faith-based for women who want to use their faith. We also have a couple of initiatives that are unique for this area. We have an initiative for Hermanas en Esperanza for Hispanic, Spanish-speaking women. And we also have a Women of Color initiative for African American and other women of color. And those communities often have stigmas to or against mental health. And so we want to help women of all shades, complexions to help get over any past hurts and also to be all that God created them to be. And that is what sets us apart at Gateway of Hope.
It was really healing for me to be able to come to a place that encouraged spirituality and prayer, and that I was allowed to do it on my terms, that I didn't have to check a certain box in order to find acceptance from my therapist, but that, it was important to both of us that I understand how that, divine spiritual power was affecting my soul, my interactions with everyone else, and how it truly is guiding my life has been amazing.
It is a big leap for a woman to take the first step, and I always tell them the first step is the hardest when you're going to counseling, even making that phone call. But being able to make that leap of faith.
For me, healing was something that did not take place overnight, and it was something that I realized I would have to work towards. It's healing for me was learning to accept myself, that I'm not all good and that I'm not all bad.
Just because in this current season of your life it feels hopeless, that's just one season, and that, sometimes it takes patience to continue moving towards something even when you don't feel it. But if you can go through this with somebody else, if you can have a support system, if you can commit to counseling, then there's going to be hope that's found, because you're not going to be in it alone. I almost think that's what hope is, not being alone in it. And that's where people start to get better and start to move towards healing.
I don't have to live in fear all the time. I just have to take things one day at a time and use the tools that I've learned, and to be thankful.
There are many, many disappointments and regrets that can submerge a woman into a pit of despair. And so we often have women who call us, and any one of us who answer the phone, as soon as she starts talking, we can hear the tears, because she is looking for hope, and she is looking for help, and she is looking for a way out of her distress. So we want to help women to discover where is the hope within herself.
Hope now means to me that I can get up in the morning and realize that it is not going to be a perfect day, but that at the end of the day, I'm able to sleep. I'm able to rest and to reflect on my day and recognize the things that I've done well, and have the ability to, before I would think, maybe today is the day that I don't want to be here anymore. And there really was no reason to stick around. And, going through therapy taught me that there will be times that I will get discouraged. There will be times that, because I'm bipolar, my brain will not agree with, what is normal, I guess, for lack of a better word. But that I can use the things that I learned in therapy to restructure my thinking.
I've had several clients who couldn't afford counseling. So I asked them at the time, what can you afford? So that they are investing in themselves. And then as they can tell me what they can afford, then we work from there. But I don't turn any woman down that can't afford for her mental health.
Our fees at Gateway of Hope are super duper affordable. They're half of what the market is charging right now.
I found out that there was a grant for frontline workers that I was eligible for. And so for me, the grant allowed me the freedom to attend therapy as much as I needed to for really quite an extended period of time. And it just was, I felt incredibly grateful because it was one less thing that I needed to worry about in a time where emotionally I could not worry about one more thing.
Well, at Gateway of Hope, we have several funding streams. One, of course, is fees. Every woman has to pay something because it's important for her to invest in her own healing and to have some skin in the game, if you will. We also have donations from individuals and from churches. Those are very helpful. Those help to underwrite and support our services. And then we do a lot of grant writing. So there are many grants in the local area that have supported Gateway of Hope and the work that we're doing.
Without donors, Gateway would not be. Although we charge women when they come, our rates are very low, and we really don't like to turn anyone away.
And that's why we need more donors, because there is a gap between what it costs us to provide the affordable services and what women can pay. And sometimes that gap is as large as $150 per person per day. So we've got to narrow that gap, and that's why we need supporters to help us continue to be here for your children, your grandchildren, and your great-grandchildren.
The clients that I've seen that have been awarded a grant have been so grateful, so immensely grateful. A lot of them, this is the first time that they've ever been in counseling.
I think honestly, finding out that a grant was available was again just affirmation that, people do think that I'm worth it, and that there is help out there. And again, that God was just guiding me on that journey of allowing me to heal. It was a huge piece of the puzzle that I was really grateful for.
Having high quality counselors and life coaches at Gateway of Hope at an affordable rate where you feel like you are wanted and you belong, all of those things set Gateway of Hope apart.
Oh gosh, my future looks a lot brighter because of the things that I learned at Gateway of Hope. Therapy was an opportunity for me to not only grow as a person, but really to think about things differently, to realize that, I can affect my future, and that a lot of times how I think about my future is how my future turns out. It was nice to be supported in Gateway of Hope, not only, just with my career journey, but with my journey with my family, and just as a woman, to realize that, there are a lot of things that I can give back.